Eventually, by Leela Malfoy on AO3. Episode 2, Chapter 2. Max fanned herself with her hat, the freezer to the ice cream open as she groaned. I can't wait for this shift to be over. You best believe I'm dragging Lucas to the pool the second I clock out. Mike rolled his eyes, shaking his head. I thought you guys were going to come over. Aren't we having a movie night? I literally just went to Blockbusters to rent Furnace Buckler's Day Off yesterday. Your request, by the way. As much as I appreciate that, Max leaned her whole body against the freezer, her cheeks pressed against the cold glass as she shot him a grin. Lucas and I may be a little late. I need to be at a normal body temperature again. Whatever, Mike replied, looking downwards to begin counting the tips they had made that day. Not very much, by the looks of it. He sensed Max shift next to him, but continued to count the change, moving each coin into different piles, evenly for him and Max to split. The bell rang, just once. He figured Max could take it, considering she was lying there while he counted their shares. But she didn't move. Wheeler, she said instead, jarring out the last letter of his surname. Mike sighed, heat prickling at the back of his neck. What now? Max's tone was slightly teasing when she said, You're gonna want to look up. Mike fought the urge to roll his eyes again. He has been doing it a lot lately while working with Max, and the only thing he could think of while he kept doing it was his mother's voice in his head. She used to tell him and Nancy that, when they were younger, that if you rolled your eyes too much, their eyes would pop from their sockets. So instead of rolling his eyes, he looked up. Mike's breath was wiped right out of his chest as he met Will's Hazel's eyes. He was standing on the opposite side of the counter with a soft smile on his face. A private one. Like it was meant for Mike only. His teeth were slightly biting his bottom lip, just enough that Mike could see the tip of whiteness along rosy pink. Will. Mike felt a smile spread across his face, his whole world focusing on his best friend in front of him, like tunnel vision. Hi, Mike. Will replied, a twinkle in his eye. He teased. Nice hat. Mike laughed, ducking his head. Shut up. Will inclined his head towards Max, smiling at the red hat. Hey, Max. Hey, Byers. Max hummed, her voice chipper. She liked Will, which was actually kind of rare for her. Or maybe it was just Mike she didn't like. Regardless, it made sense. Everyone liked Will. Looking good. Thanks. Will chuckled, his cheeks tinged a slight shade of pink to match his lips, Mike thought. I just came to stop by. Jonathan dragged me along to grab something film for his camera. That's cool, Mike replied, lamely. He licked his lips before asking carefully, Do you want any ice cream? Sure. Will shrugged. But it seemed like he was going to get it all along. He was just waiting for Mike to ask. I'll have salted caramel in a bowl, your usual, right? Mike finished, already opening the freezer, bowl in hand. A flicker of something crossed through Will's eyes. Yeah, thanks. Mike smiled at him broadly. Of course. Max looked between both boys with a calculated expression, her eyebrow quirking upwards. She stepped to the side. Wheeler, I'm gonna go check inventory. You got this one? Mike didn't know what she was talking about. Of course he had this one. They did inventory this morning. If she wanted a second, she could have just told the truth. But honestly, Mike didn't care. Mike waved dismissively at her. Yeah, okay. See ya, Byers. Max threw a hand over her shoulders at Will before walking into the back. Will waved at her as she left. What about you? Mike asked, clearing his throat. What have you been up to while I've been wasting my life away here. I've been working on something, Will said, inconspicuously, his arms spreading behind his back as he took a step forward, following Mike. Mike placed a second scoop of ice cream into Will's bowl. Sue him, fire him, whatever. Another painting? Will hesitated a little, but nodded. Yeah, I mean, not like the last one, though. I'm sure it'll be great. Mike said truthfully, his voice soft. Everything you paint is awesome. Will sucked in a breath as Mike held out the ice cream to him. Will took it in his hands, and Mike felt a tingle warmth all over his wrist when their fingers brushed. He swallowed thickly, his eyes lingering on each other's for a beat too long. Thank you, Will said carefully, his eyes flickering between Mike's, as if he were trying to decode him. Mike didn't know if he wanted him to, but he knew he didn't want Will's eyes to ever leave his. Will shook himself, patting at his pant pockets with his free hand. I should pay. No, Mike said, huffing out a laugh. No, it's all good. On the house. Will's hands paused at his pant pockets. Are you sure? Mike waved his hand as if it was no big deal. He shouldn't be giving out any more free ice cream. Erica was already making a dent in the stocks. He'll have to pay out of his own pocket for Will's ice cream. But he didn't care. He'd rather do that than have Will pay. Of course, I'm sure. Thanks. Will hummed appreciatively, smiling that soft smile at him. Are we still on for movie night? Yeah, Mike replied casually, bracing his hands on either side of the counter again. He rocked forward. I got Fair Bueller's day off. Dustin said he'll bring the drinks. I got the snacks then, Will said, bringing the spoonful of ice cream to his lips. Mike looked away too late, watching his tongue dart out to lick the sugary treat from them. Okay. Mike nodded. So then that leaves Lucas and Max for dinner then. Yeah, that sounds right to me, Will responded, ducking his spoon back into his bowl. He flicked his gaze to the store behind him, and in the distance Mike could see Jonathan waving with a plastic bag in his grasp. Should go. Okay, I'll see you later, Mike asked, hoping his voice didn't sound too desperate. Yeah, at 7. Will confirmed, already walking out backwards. Mike waved at him as he left, watching him turn to jog over to Jonathan. When Will was gone, he leaned against the counter, resting his chin in his hands. The back door swung open. Mike turned around abruptly at the sharpness, cursing under his breath as Max stalked towards him with a shit-eating grin on her face. So? She dragged the word on, as if she had figured something out. So what? Mike narrowed his eye at her. She smirked wickedly, like a cat who got the cream. You look constipated again. Mike dropped his head back, groaning. Do you ever stop? This is my goal, Wheeler. Max laughed. She picked up a wet sanitizing cloth, flicked it at him. Some of the droplets caught on his face. He wiped them off furiously. I'm here to make you go insane. The bell sounded. Mike took the customer as Max wiped down the countertops. But Mike could feel her studying him. It felt like he was an organism she was studying under a microscope. Studying the way he moved, the way he looked, what made Mike Wheeler tick. Mike handed the customer their ice cream, wishing them a nice day. When he turned to face Max, she had tilted her head at him. Her tone was softer, and it was unnerving. You smile different around him. Mike froze, his back stiffening immediately. Who? He was buying time, really. He knew exactly who she was referring to. Soft brown hair, twinkling hazel eyes, rosy pink lips, a smile that made it hard to breathe, a laugh that made everything else fade for a second. At that, Max looked to the ceiling as if calling for a god to take her away from his stupidity. She groaned, obnoxiously loud. Jesus, take the wheel. She walked away before Mike could say anything else. He noticed that she tallied 10 more times on the you suck side of the dry erase marker, beginning to try out on the last tally mark. He frowned, but he didn't get a chance to think about it long before the bell rang again. Max's words replaying in his head. I'm back at it again, the second time. Alright, so, for a second I thought that Mike and Will were gonna be on a movie night by themselves. Turned out it wasn't like I low-key forgot about Dustin. My bad, Dustin. I'm sorry, Dustin. Dustin, forgive me, please. Dustin, I'm sorry, Dustin. Dustin. Also, I love Mike here. He's so gay, and I love it. I'm still trying to figure out Mike's and Will's voices, so right now they sound extremely similar. Sometimes Wheeler is the deeper toner, kind of, and sometimes it's Will. It's just depending on what I want to do. There is no voices yet. We're gonna ride this till we get a voice for them, okay? Okay. The next chapter, the summary is movie night. Smirk emoji. It doesn't have a smirk emoji, by the way. It just says smirk emoji. Featuring internalized homophobia. We love internalized homophobia. So far, I'm loving this so much. All right, okay. I have nothing much to say other than I like. For some reason, I really like Mike and Max as, like, friends, but, like, those friends are, like, constantly bickering and fighting, but, like, they're friends, you know? I love that. I love, this was the first Mike and Will interaction we've had, so I really love this interaction. I'm loving this dynamic. It's actually really good. It's really good. I have high hopes for this fanfiction. High hopes. I love it so much. I can't wait for more. Okay, alright. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.